Welcome to episode 56 of Winging It, the best and worst of 2024. So we're back. We were going to come and do a show last week, but after losing 5-1 to Arsenal and playing out a 0-0 draw at Bournemouth, in which skipper Mark Gay declared I was a bit bored, to be honest, we decided to have a week off and let you all build up to Christmas without the curly curmudgeon further bringing down your spirits.
Happy New Year to you as well.
So, welcome back in. Albert, you said you're thirsty. Let's get started.
Well, yeah, I've had a big clear out of the house over the last sort of few days. There's a skip on the drive, getting all the stuff, and I've had a route around at the back of the fridge to clear that out as well. So I've actually got I don't know if I'm going to do the laundry
out there.
Well, and we've had people round. We've had people round for New Year's and stuff. So what was left is a can of Camden Hells. There was something called a Hazy Jane Guava. That sounds like something Hesketh might drink on.
Whoa. That's the CBD levels?
Sorry, that's Sweet Mary Jane by Brewdog. And then some Philistines left something in my fridge called a Yonder, which is a fruit and toffee zapsicle. Don't know where that came from.
Zapsicle?
Yeah.
Like them...
Have you had this? Do you recognise this one, Terence?
Yeah. They used to sell those in ice cream vans, those ice lollies, didn't they?
Yeah.
But it's a beer.
Terence is smirking.
I think that might have been one of the ones I bought you, mate.
It was one of the ones that you bought me for my birthday. And actually, so I've been saving it for a special occasion. Dry January. I'll be honest, I'm sick of drink. Fucking state of this. I'm really boozed out over the last few weeks. So I'm trying to drink things that might encourage me to not drink anymore in January. So, wow.
Are you pouring it into a glass?
So he's opened up the Yonder.
Yeah, I've gone for that one.
That just looks like a fizzy Ribena.
It's like wine, isn't it? You start with the best one.
Well, Hazy Jane Guava is one of the best beers there is, mate. Outrageously good.
Just drink a Rubicon.
There he goes.
Are you telling me you didn't buy me the best beer you know for my 40th birthday?
Big swig. Bloody hell.
Oh.
It's half the pint is gone. Breathe.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Go on. What's it like?
What is it meant to? Yeah, I'm getting the toffee. It's not actually not that bad. I don't know if I'll subscribe to it. But yeah, it's good.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it eventually. Did you check the sell-by date? No.
Did you?
He got his from the fridge clear out. That's right. That's where you got it.
Yeah, it's good. It's got a 25 on it.
I've just got a Hepcat by Gypsy Hill. I've drunk that many times on the pod before. Mm-hmm. And it's still in one of the big cans before they all disappear.
Shrinkflation.
Right. Okay, you can have 2 minutes on Bournemouth and about how shit it was because Hesketh made the journey down. So go for it.
Yeah, well, I was going to say let's make the journey worth it, but there's very little to say. First of all, big shout out to Vanessa, who I somehow managed to harangue into driving to Bournemouth and back on Boxing Day. She did very well and has already informed me that that's...
well.
Yeah, well, I mean, she did better than me because I can't drive. But she's already told me that that's the token for driving to an away game used up. So I fucked that because it wasn't worth it. Yeah, I mean, we all watched it. It was boring. Mark Gay said it was boring, but he got paid tens of thousands of pounds to be bored. I paid to be bored. I think the only positive thing really I can say is that the whole game I was like, this is such a textbook 1-0 home win that to come away with a point felt all right. That's about as positive as it gets, I think.
Yeah, it was a good point, I think.
Good point.
Given taking the thrashing from Arsenal a few days before. And then, yeah, I don't think it was that. I didn't think it was that bad a game. I was surprised to hear Gay say it was boring. I thought it was a good tactical battle. And in the first half, we were in the game, but second half, we were far from it for sure. So happy to come out of a point. And then at the Arsenal game, Zaha and Elise were in attendance.
Shame they weren't on the fucking pitch.
Zaha back in January on loan, Albert.
He did look like he was sort of, he had his hood up and a bit of a, don't know if it was a snood, but something pulled up under his chin. I don't know if he was trying to hide from the tax man and trying to sneak back in to make a move back to the Palace. But
he needs to make a phone call to Glenn Murray to.
Yeah, and your phone bills are tax deductible as well, so you shouldn't be afraid to make the call.
And talking of Elise, booked my flights and hotel to go out to watch Bayern in February, so I can watch him one last time.
Tell him to come back.
Hamstring injury just before Terence gets there.
That's what I reckon tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow in training, we're going to find out that he's done his hamstring for sure. Got some more Palace on TV, mainly because someone came back in EastEnders over Christmas, Albert.
Mate, fucking hell.
You manifested it.
Manifested Nigel only bloody turn. And I have to say, it's the first time I've watched EastEnders probably since Nigel was in it. Or no, maybe a bit more recent than that. But I always try and sit down and catch a bit of EastEnders at Christmas because something's going to blow up or someone's going to get their head cut off. And fucking Nigel turned up. So there you go. More Palace on TV.
Did his head remain attached?
Yeah. Cindy Bill, though.
Good.
Oh. I couldn't really keep up with it, to be honest.
Cindy Beale. She's been in it forever.
No, she's been and gone, mate. Been and gone and ploughed through half the people who work at the Vic. It's what I seem to gather on, clutch onto, and then someone smashed her head in.
Oh.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, just another day in Walford then.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not Nigel because that would really sully
his emotions. I reckon it's Shane Ritchie.
He's still in it.
Is he? Oh, well, I was messing around there.
Is it Who's Done It? Kind of thing. Oh.
They tend to do that, don't they, every now and again? It's like the Christmas thing where it's like,
there's definitely been
who's killed.
And you could see it coming because there was a big fallout with like 8 people in the Vic, and they all said, "You better fucking watch it." They didn't say "fucking," it's EastEnders. You better watch it, or you don't deserve to be alive. So you can see it coming. I know I work in film, but I could see it. You know what I mean? Didn't bode well.
They just need to have a Royal Rumble. I'd watch it if they did that. The Wolford Rumble. It'd be one more viewer.
Winner gets to kill Cindy Bill. Is that what it is? Okay.
Keys to the Vic hung above the ring.
Oh dear.
Nice. And more Palace on TV for the shout out to Liam, keen-eyed Liam, who spotted the one and only.
And remember, every match day, we're watching you.
And
Terry Byfield sat in the front row of the Graham Norton New Year's Eve special.
It turns out Liam was watching Terry Byfield on that occasion. And remember.
Hesketh, you've only just seen this picture and was immediately sending it around WhatsApp groups.
It's amazing. It's about as prominent a seat as you can get by the looks of things. And
bloody front row seats, BBC prime time.
He's definitely watching. He's 100%. He's watching.
Yeah, he's watching. Good on him. He's watching Fleur East's fucking big microphone.
Yeah. Not in my
Professional
day.
jealousy.
Not in my day. Small microphone. Got that done. Have you just necked off that entire beer? Oh, you're getting blimey.
Do you love it?
Sorry. No, I'm just. I need to empty the glass for the next one. I can't start 2025 by calling Joe into the home recording studio and saying, can you just get me a clean glass? I think that'd be trawling new depths.
Can you get me a little dish of lemon sorbet so I can clean my palate, please?
Excuse me, you just couldn't sloosh this glass out for me.
I'd imagine on your kitchen worktop you've got one of those like glass cleaners which you just push down and you shh.
I think if I asked her to do that, I think the glass would come back with something much more bitter and fucking tangy on the palate than what I'm drinking now.
Like Shad Balami style. Shad Balami.
Talking about piss. Shad Balami, is that an ID reference? Well done.
Yeah.
Some say an R-rated feature-length episode of EastEnders.
Yeah, especially when Danny Dyer was in it. God, I could get into TV, all the TV I watched over Christmas, but I won't. Instead, let's talk about the Premier League released the 2024 calendar year league table today. And we were beautifully placed one place above Brighton. Having played a game less, no less.
And what position in the table was that?
Why don't you enlighten us all?
It was 12.
At least it wasn't 14.
It's just our position. Just 12th is our position. That's it. No matter how you chop it up.
How we play a game
I think
less?
14th is where we've done the most. So it depends where your bank holiday games fall around the new year and stuff like that, I guess.
True enough.
So yeah, I think 14th is actually the position we've finished the most in the Premier League in this run. And I think there's times when we thought we were going to finish 12th and snuck a 10th and an 11th.
So on average,
yeah, between 10 and 14, exactly. Bit of transfer news. Well, not. It might feel like a new signing. Odsonne Edouard has been sent back by Leicester. I don't think that's officially been announced yet, but I think it's common knowledge that it's going to happen in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Fancy him, but you unhappy about having him on the bench, Albert, as an option?
No, I think we're lacking. Listen, I'm not coming. I'm fucking not sitting here saying Edouard's going to come back and bang 12 goals in between now and the end of the season. But we are lacking a striker. The person we are missing is Jordan Ayew. I think we discussed that last year. So we do need a striker on the bench, and if that's the best we can do at the beginning of January, who knows what will happen in the transfer window? We probably won't sign a fucking striker. Then that's a body on the bench that's got at least some experience and has been known if you cast your minds back, he has been known to score goals for us. So I'll take it.
Here's a question then to you both. Eddie versus Eddie. Which one are you taking? Odsonne or Nketiah?
I'm definitely taking Eddie.
Eddie wins.
Eddie wins.
I mean, with his defending from the front, like he examined in the last game, it would be hard to not take Eddie.
Good.
Look, I don't know. We'll talk about Nketiah at the end of the Southampton game. Let's save it until then. Transfer news related to Palace, but not about Palace. Sam Johnson looks set to leave Wolves this window. I mean, jeez. What a journey.
And I actually saw this story today on Twitter or Blue Sky or one of them. And all the replies from the Wolves fans are about how much they hate him. They were just freaking his shit. They were like, what a £10 million robbery. He's played a few games for him, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, I think he went there. He got given the shirt, then he got injured, lost his place, and I think he won his place back, and then maybe got injured again, and now the new manager's come in and has obviously told him, "You're not in my plans." I imagine.
Sorry,
Yeah.
was it the him being given the shirt that caused the injury? Because the way you said that, that's like Nathan Ferguson style fragility.
But he was. I mean, he's coming in there as a former baggy, right? So that's already difficult for him in that sense. So the moment that it's not going well for him, I imagine. Good job on the toffee beer.
He's
Hazy Jane Guava, mate. Go for it.
Albert, you're going to be able to speak at the end of this episode if you polish off all these beers.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, with Johnston, we've talked about it a bit with Henderson's good form, but it looks increasingly like the correct decision was made, doesn't it? Goalkeepers.
I told you so. All right. And then sticking on goalkeepers, Joe Whitworth, who is Exeter Player of the Season by all accounts, has had his first blip in the road.
It was.
After, I don't know, he's getting a bit. He's got the ball in his hands and he's having a bit of argy-bargy-ish with a opposition player standing in front of him, and he goes to fake throw it over his head, but loses control of the ball and it goes straight across the penalty area to an Oppo player who just taps it in. So not the greatest. But
what was the score at the time?
I think it was key. I think it was a close game. But it did make me think. A few things have happened in the last day where we're going to Cornwall on holiday in the summer, so we was looking at booking that. I saw the Kevin Miller autobiography on the bookshelf. So I think it's become my New Year's resolution is to try and get that podcast done. And who knows, get Joe on it as well. Joe and Kevin, because for who doesn't know, Kevin Miller is the goalkeeper coach at Exeter. So maybe he taught him that.
Did they lose 6-0?
No.
Because we all know what happens if they lost 6-0. We know who's to blame there.
Yeah. But then save a penalty in the same game to throw everyone off the scent. It's genius. So we've got to try. We've got to try and make that podcast happen. Either if it's just a book review with just us three. We've been talking about it long enough. We've got to do it. I think we've been talking about it since episode 4.
Slow burn. And I've got to find where I put that book as well. That's the problem.
I mean, I can't get you another one. It's hard enough last time, if you remember.
I'll ring the charity shop. Don't worry.
Albert, if you prefer audiobooks, I can just read it out loud in a WhatsApp
I got to
message.
say, I am an audiobook kind of guy these days.
Do you want me to narrate it via voice clips?
Yes, please.
All right.
A line
at a time. Yeah.
At the top of every hour.
But you have to do it with a deep Cornish accent, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm in. I'll do it. I just need a few of those guava things he's drinking, and then.
Did you open the Hazy Jane Guava?
I did. Yeah. It's
honest assessment.
It's all right.
It's much better than the other one for sure.
It is. Yeah. It's if only for the fact that it's half the size.
Very good. Very good. Okay, Southampton. Let's talk about Southampton. We won a game. Whoop, whoop.
Hooray.
Hooray. I went into the game. I wouldn't want to say out loud that I'd take a point today, but I think if we were recording last week, you might have said I'd take a point, Hesketh, and then predicted a 1-1.
You wouldn't have said that.
I might not have said it, but I would have taken a point.
It's just the way the weather was on the day, it's Boxing Day. It just everything felt like this could be a bit of a banana skin in that sense. And then when they opened the scoring with Carl Walker's around Munoz Peters down the right flank,
good plan.
Dibley, smashed the ball home. He's a good player as well. But Carl Walker-Peters, free agent this summer. We tried to snap him up when he was a free agent last time as well. Yeah, good player. Good player. And the rumours are we're looking for a wing back on each side and a central midfielder in this window. These are the rumours that have come out of Sky Sports today. So,
cheeky bit in Jan, do you think? They're not staying up, are they?
Well, definitely not if they sell him.
Would you test? Would you test the waters, or would you hold out?
Yeah, I mean, I'd test the waters on the grounds that when it comes to free agency, I don't think we'll be very good at that, in the sense that he'll probably want a lot of money and we'll probably try and do it on the cheap. And he'll sign for who's second in the Championship at the moment. he'll sign for them when they come up, I imagine. But I don't know. I think most people who would have watched him, particularly down the years and particularly in that game on Boxing Day, would say probably walked into our team, to be honest. But or at least then gives Tyreek Mitchell competition, which could see him maybe up his game a bit. But yeah, so they take the lead and nervousness immediately floods Selhurst Park. But then we get a goal from another corner. It's Trevor Chalobah again.
Or is it?
Or is it a foul, Hesketh? Do you think it was a foul on Ramsdale?
No, I don't.
Not even, you can't, if you was a Southampton fan, you wouldn't even be pissed off.
I mean, I think that goalies get too much protection anyway, and I don't think that JP really did that much. Ramsdale was giving him a good little shove before as well anyway, so you can't do that and then piss yourself to the ref when you let a goal in. And Glasner said it as well. He was like, other teams are doing it and Arsenal are scoring loads of goals because of doing stuff like that. So if it's not a foul and they're not going to do anything in subsequent corners by putting someone between JP and the goalie, then that's on them. I don't think it's enough to be given as a foul, to be honest. So I was
Definitely
quite happy
not.
it wasn't.
I've seen better examples of similar interactions where you're like, yeah, that is a fucking foul. But like Hesketh says, it's Ramsdale's given as good as he gets before the ball gets put into the area, and he just comes out fucking second best when the ball's active. So I think there was I don't think which game it was. There's been so many fucking football games obviously recently, but was it an Anana? There was an Anana clanger where he had a player in front of him and a player behind him, and he's clearly like sandwiched, or the lucky Pierre, as I like to call it, and is physically impeded and can't move. And you think, yeah, that's a better case for it. Ramsdale Mateta is a 1-on-1, and Mateta comes out better off.
Yeah, and I don't see why Mateta should just have to let Ramsdale run through him. He's just stood his ground, and Ramsdale is not strong enough. And yeah, and that's, as I've said many times before, as a goalkeeper, I don't think that's a foul, but I would have been manhandling Mateta way more than he was, to be honest, to get him out of my way. So, but it's also, the protection needs to exist for goalkeepers when their arms are up in the air, they're trying to catch the ball and players go through their arms, because that's when the protection needs to exist. But especially with how corners have been going this season and everyone being a lot more physical and blocks being employed a lot more, yeah, you can't start giving fouls for that. But yeah, it's Chalobah on the end of it again. he's at his third of the season. Where is he now? Is he like second top scorer? Standalone.
Check the livid. Did you notice that? They ordered it to the Corée first in the ground?
Yeah, exactly. So
very impressive.
Yeah. Underneath, I've got actually Decore scored his first goal for Palace, according to the scoreboard. Then there was little spatterings of his song being sung around the Homesdale as well after the goal. Yeah, very good, very good. God knows what happened there. Then we have, going back to full-on late 80s, early 90s Palace. It was beautiful. Henderson just punts it to Mateta's head, who flicks it on and Sarr's through 1-on-1.
Oh, his touch, that first touch by Sarr, is fucking sublime. It was a good save as well, I have to say. But yeah, that first touch was brilliant.
Yeah, Ramsdale atoned a little bit there, didn't he? Really good save down to his left. It wasn't like Sarr didn't get it right in the corner like he did against Brighton. Because I think if he did get it right in the corner, there's zero chance he's getting to it. And then another chance to take the lead comes when Mitchell gets away down the left, puts it across to Mateta, who kind of misses the ball at the near post, which takes Ramsdale out of play. And Munoz comes flying in and caresses it towards the goal, and it just, I mean, Carl Walker-Peters is very lucky it catches his heel and comes off the line. That is Daniel Munoz's 7th big chance missed of the season, which puts him above all defenders in the Premier League.
He's never scoring again.
Can we just go back? Can we just go back to Mateta's involvement?
It was a dummy. He knew what he was doing. You know that he knew what he was doing.
Terence said misses it, which is very different to a dummy. I just want to check what. I just want to zoom in a little bit. I want Terence just to clarify when you say misses it, intentional or?
I think it was a little bit behind him,
and he knew it. So he was like, "I'll leave it for Danny," because Danny's a fox in the box.
Okay. He's not.
Yeah. I reckon
Foxes aren't very good at football, are they? So
I reckon Munoz has given him a shout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I fucking shouted as well.
So 7 big chances missed for Munoz now this season. I think Guardiola's behind him on 6, and then there's another defender on 5, and then you down to 3. It's just an astronomical amount of big chances that he's missing, or he's getting in the box, and you got to fancy he's going to get a few more before the end of the season. Surely. But then we get into the second half, and then from was it a cleared corner, or was it a free kick in? I can't remember, but Ty loops the ball back into the penalty area, and Munoz keeps it alive. And at last, Eze, for the first time since Chelsea away in the league, scores. It was almost like hearing Eze's on fire was almost nostalgic. It's been so long.
I can remember the words.
Neither could the homestyle. Everyone kept getting it wrong, was missing the ooh. It was like being spread around. Great finish though, right, Albert?
Fantastic hit. And as I was saying to you chaps, didn't really appreciate it from my seat all the way down the other end. It's only when I saw it on Match of the Day, it's like, oh, fuck me. It's one of those goals where even when they sort of play it in slow motion, the ball's still moving quite fast on the screen. So, sweet hit.
Yeah, Ramsdale's dived after it's gone in, Hesketh, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's like the Wi-Fi's lagging.
What, on just the goalkeeper?
Yeah, that was great. Watching the replay back, as much as I love the goal, seeing Ramsdale fully dive when the ball's already gone past him was good value. It was a great goal though. Yeah, brilliant finish.
Rewind back to your brilliant day at Bournemouth. He had basically the same chance in that game. Was it with his left foot in that game now, I think? And Kepa saves it through the crowded penalty area with a brilliant stop. So hopefully this will be the turning point for Eze. All those, everything he was stroking from the edge of the penalty area last season went in the bottom corner. This year it's been hitting the goalkeeper every time. And maybe this is just what he needed.
Yeah, he needs something just in general, because I think he's been pretty crap this season, to be honest. And he seemed to have a bit more pep after that had gone in before he got taken off. So hopefully it is a confidence thing, and now he's going to be more in tune with trying to actually get towards the goal rather than slow the ball up or pass it backwards. Fingers crossed.
What was nice about in the celebration though, he went to walk off and do his normal, just casual stroll off, do his little cross and whatever. But then he absolutely jumped in the air and levered the air with a fist, because so you can tell it was a big moment for him, and it's probably been preying on his mind a little bit. But lovely goal, and obviously ends up being the winner. Not before Henderson, as we know, it was Fernandez, was it, that midfielder, run through all of them.
He was a good player.
Yeah. And then Eze has a free kick that deflects over. He went under the wall, and the guy who was laying on the floor did fuck all about it.
Yeah.
But before we move on, the referee,
oh my God.
Oh, don't.
He was
I mean,
so
it was
shit.
one of those performances where he's got both fans singing about how shit he is. So I think that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
But Mateta must have thought, what do I need to do to get a free kick here?
Do you know the thing that got me as well? Southampton were playing in like a luminous yellow top. So when the centre half got both his arms around Mateta, you can't really not see it. It's like a fucking beacon. And I was just like I said during the game, like every time their guy falls to the floor, he seems to give it. So I was like, Mateta's sort of doing himself an injustice by battling, winning it, and staying on his feet. Because I think if he just fell over, the ref probably would have given it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there were some absolutely like blatant textbook yellow cards that he never give. And then he had a period of 5-10 minutes in the second half where it was like he'd realised he did have a yellow card. So he started sort of throwing it about a bit. Awful.
He accidentally posted about at Christmas, thinking it was a Christmas card and forgot to bring him. But he was like, yeah, it was astonishing, really. Like, just clear pullbacks when teams are breaking away, not getting yellow cards.
There was tons
a couple of their
those.
centre backs did it. Richards did it as well, I think. Like, it was mad.
Let the game flow, yeah? It's Christmas.
And then the final card of the game he gave was to Eddie Nketiah, who...
Good tackle.
In real time, I haven't watched it back. I don't know how bad it is, but in real time, I was like, is he going to get a red here? Because it looks like he went over the ball and his studs are a little bit uppy. Have you seen it back, either of you?
No,
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that back, actually. They didn't feature that on Match of the Day, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay. So that which tells you it probably wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And that yellow
I mean, it was
probably
bad, but bad, not
Yeah.
bad in the fact that it was a bad tackle, but just the whole 4 seconds, well, not even 4 seconds, the whole getting the ball, miscontrolling the ball in a direction that he wasn't even facing. Again, I'm saying this as much. I didn't see the Eze goal. I can't say I had a clear view of the Nketiah foul, but I sort of got the gist of it. Shall we say that?
Yeah. And on the one hand, I feel bad for him. A bit like Kamada, really. But on the other hand, with Nketiah, we've spunk 30 million quid on you, which is a record transfer fee for us. And it's getting to the stage where I'm like, have I got a better first touch than him?
It's mad, isn't it? The bit at the end where he got a ball into him on the edge of the box and he sort of chested it down. Not to his own feet. It did go about 5 yards, but he just turn around and swing a boot at it. He ends up like the ball ended up going. He chested it up, and the ball then ends up fucking 30 yards towards Dean Henderson. It's hard because like him and Cabinet are just getting so much shit around me, and I just really want them to do well because they play for Palace, right? So I want them to do well.
Is anybody else getting a bit sick that Kamada seems to have just pipped ahead of Devaney in the coming on for the last 20 minutes?
Do you know, I think his last few cameos, Kamada, ain't been that bad, to be honest. I thought he put in a shift at Brighton, he ran around a load, and that was what was needed. He just pressed them a lot. And I think in the Arsenal game, he was a bit unlucky. A couple of bits didn't come off for him, and then a couple of bits always did. And at least he was getting on the ball in the right positions on the field where he could impact play a bit. So, and he's been injured. He's been out of the team a lot, so it's rustiness. And it's the same for Nketiah as well, right? I mean, I kind of... On the one hand, he had quite a few bad touches when he came on Nketiah, but also at one point, he brought the ball down on his chest out of the air on the run perfectly. It stuck to his chest and just rolled to his feet, and his touch out of his chest was really good as well. So it's kind of like, you absolutely know there's a player in there. But, I feel like me saying there's a player in there, which I've said about Kamada as well, is me being nice about saying, I think it's over. I really hope not, because as Hesketh says, they're both Palace players. We want them to do well. We've put a significant amount of budget into the two of them, and hopefully a better 2025 for them.
Yeah, Fingers crossed.
Oh, can't get worse.
Fucking hell, don't say that.
For them.
I need that little
Well, for
clip
us.
of Mick McCarthy going, "Oh, it can." And we'll just end on man of the matches. Who's your man of the match?
For giving him a lot of shit lately, I actually thought Chalobah was very good. I think it was out of Chalobah and Sarr. But I'll give it to Chalobah because I've been quite tough on him this season. But I thought he was very good.
I was going to say, you basically said exactly what I was going to say. So the fact that you've gone Chalobah, I'll go with Sarr. Sarr's getting better and better. I think he's going to be a fucking really good player for us over the next year or two. I think he's great.
He's approaching the form that Albert used to love watching him down Vicarage Road.
I wouldn't like to say it's something I've seen before, but
Sarr for me. There's still Trevor Chalobah. If you've ever played a Football Manager game, his positioning score wouldn't be very high. Nor would his decisions.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
nor would his decisions. But yeah, Sarr for me, especially like making plans to get him running in behind the defence is really nice. And that's where he's at his most dangerous, and we're going to get goals out of him. So yeah, really, really good.
He's good with his head as well, Sarr. He's not a player who I'd associate with, being good in the air per se, but he really gets stuck in, and he's a real sort of all-rounder, which I really like. You can sort of play him in a couple of positions, and as we saw against our friend Lewis Dunk, he'll stick his head in. I think he's brilliant. I really, really like him.
Yeah, and perfect in the end. Not perhaps the performance we wanted, but the 3 points getting us up to the 20 mark, and looking the other way up the table. There's only Manchester United ahead of us now. So.
It certainly took the edge off the tasty jerk not having any rice and or peas. So it was just boxes of meat. It's just boxes of meat.
So did you go for like double chicken, double normal?
I actually went for a box of half pork, half chicken because I hadn't had enough meat over the last week. And it's Arthur's first game for a while. He had his maiden tasty jerk, which was a proud moment for us all.
Did he love it?
I shed a tear. He shed a few because it was really spicy.
Very good.
So good, he's played it twice. Is Terry Byfield with us? Hang on, I'm just going to look behind me. No.
It bookends the ad, mate. Sorry, listeners, you get ads now. Sorry.
How the sausage is made.
No, should we rephrase that? Sorry, we're big time now.
Idiot.
Have they seen that? Have we tweeted a picture of my new watch?
Is it the centenary timepiece?
Mate, they're fresh out. I was hoping for one in the January sales.
Okay, so now we're going to look back at 2024, best and worst moments. Albert said before the show it was difficult finding a worse moment.
This is awkward because I'm a bit like Dougie Freedman. I don't like looking back. So talk amongst yourselves for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, whatever.
No, I didn't. No. Can I just say, I didn't say I struggled to find a worst. I said there wasn't there's many a season where we'd be like, oh yeah, and that was shit. Oh yeah, and fuck me, that was bad as well. Oh Christ, yeah, I forgot about that. This past calendar year, apart from the one that you're referring to, it's sort of a bit like, well, there was some bad stuff and bad moments, Kamada, but it wasn't. It's been a relatively painless experience the last 12 months. Prove me wrong.
I don't know. I I don't know, January and February were particularly bad months.
And Tasty Jerk running out of rice and peas doesn't count, FYI, because that's not football related.
So we'll start off with a low. Never scoring from corners at the start of the year, and now always scoring from them at the end of the year. How lovely. No, so how do you want it? Hesketh, if you can go, you can give me your lows.
Well, I think my low is probably shared by everyone, and it's the 4-1 defeat at the Amex. Not only because we were terrible, not only because Dunk scored, it was against them, but also, as we all remember, it was the half time where we brought on Elise, only for him to last about 10 minutes and then be crocked for a while. It was just a culmination of so much shit when the fan base was not happy. The performance was bad. Everything was conspiring against Roy, mostly himself, to be fair. But it just felt like, it's another season wasted. We're going backwards. We don't really know what we're doing. I don't know what the plan is. Obviously, this is before we knew Glasner was being prepared for the summer. But at that point, I think of the train home of that game, I don't think I could have felt much lower, to be honest. So that's definitely number one low for me.
Yeah, so that's Daniel wrote in and said, losing at Brighton and Elise getting subbed on and injured straight away. Carl has said, worst Dunk corner after 3 minutes.
Grim.
Yeah. Gavin also wrote in and said, worst 4-1 loss to Brighton. As shot as it was, Roy digging out the kids yet again was just horrendous. Couldn't resist it. It was Wharton on this occasion that got it after coming on for his debut. And it's hilarious because, as we know, Wharton went on to become a player that loves to look forward and makes passes. The reason why he made an error leading to a goal was because he was caught in possession, because he was on the ball looking for a forward run, and there was zero movement from the 5 players in front of him. So he didn't know where to put the ball. So, so I think we can all share that. I think I've never seen so many Palace fans leave in the first half of a match before, ever. Loads and loads were gone before the whistle blew at half time. And journey back just horrendous. Just felt really, really, like you've just said, was going nowhere, maybe down. It was, bad day. It wasn't what happens when the Anderson got involved with the away fans as well. Yeah, rough day. Albert, any non-jerk chicken related down moments of the season? So I think you've had it a couple of times. You've turned up and ain't even been open.
Well, you were talking. You were talking about what moment was it that you were going to mention? Then you realised it was November 2022. Oh, November 2024.
The John Texter. This is corruption.
This is corruption. Well, one of the first thing that came to mind was when I went to Selhurst and Tasty Jerk was shut, but that was actually December. I only said last year, 2 years ago.
Well, you would have turned up and found it shut this year, but I told you before you got there that it was closed.
Exactly that.
And then you went to Don Eagles and discovered matchday prices.
Matchday fucking prices. Oh yeah, there were some bad moments, weren't there? Fucking hell, yeah. I've got Brighton 4, Palace 1, Everton 2, Palace 1, Gahey armband debacle, and now I'm going to write down £4 for a pickled egg.
Yeah, trying to open the pickled egg jar.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I've told you my worst moments.
Was that Everton 2-1? Was that when we took the lead?
Yeah, again, not in the grand scheme of things, not so bad. But Everton were just shit, and Everton, to this day, are shit. And it was just a classic. Don't worry, we'll be there in a minute. But yeah, don't worry, we've gone 1-0 up. Don't worry about it. We're gonna allow you to have an inspired second half, and just we're going to do fuck all about it. But that's 2-3 years ago. That would have been one of many of those performances.
A weekly occurrence.
Yeah, exactly. So, I can't sit here and say it ruined my month, but it was particularly galling, the circumstances in which it happened, because we looked well good for the first, 15 minutes, 16 minutes, even maybe the first half we were really decent, and then just absolutely fucking pissed it away.
Yeah. I mean, Roy's demise is sort of a sad moment across, a 6-week period. If you go the 5-0 loss at Arsenal, and there's that famous camera angle from behind him with the banner being held up in the crowd. Albert just shaking his head at me here. Oh, sorry, no one was meant to see behind the curtain there, were they?
No.
But, just like the way it ended, how it ended, when it could have ended at the end of the season before with that amazing run, and then he could have gone off in the light that he really should have done. But then to, be there, losing the plot, slagging off young players, and then getting ill was just, it just all felt a bit shit, really.
Well, that last bit.
Wow.
That might not be on the worst bit. No, the other bit is in all seriousness. Though I know that's controversial. In all seriousness, what's he doing? What's Roy Hodgson up to these days?
Probably got his feet up doing the crossword. Bit of Sudoku, I reckon.
Because that's another one. That's another one that I had to look up. Was the comeback against Man City, because that was dangerously close to the festive season, and it was like that was a contender for best moment. Alas, it was on the 17th of December or something, so narrowly misses out.
Okay. So one of Nick wrote in, and he said, the 24 hours of selling Anderson and Ayew and then losing 2-0 to West Ham felt crap, and at that point we'd just thrown August away.
There is someone who that's Hesketh levels of minutia
specificity
minutia misery tracking. That's good. Well, that's good. If we had any hats left, he should get a hat.
You do not realise how loaded that comment is that you just said around the Nick. So, yeah, Nick wanted a hat. But
is it your friend Nick, who I've met a few times? Oh yeah, I mean it's a decent comment, but
yeah, whatever. It's not that good.
I feel my Hodgson one was better.
Okay, all right. Best moments then. So Albert, we've got you. You can continue.
What have I got? Top in no particular order, but the smashing United around the pitch like school children was great. Which
I mean, they were school children. A lot of them, though. That's top of Hesketh's list as well.
Yeah. That was. I didn't have the pleasure of being there. I had the some might say the greater pleasure of watching at home with my United supporting wife. And it got a bit awkward. It did actually get a bit awkward. We were 2-0 up while she was still putting the kids to bed. And it didn't really get much better. Well, it did for me, but didn't get much better for her from there on. And obviously the Elise goal being the cherry on the cake. Particularly was the weird whatever they call that referee cam.
Yeah.
That sort of came out a bit after the event. That was a particularly sweet culmination of everything that Glasner did, Elise and Eze, both being fit, both being in the team. We're obviously well safe by that point and just not scared of anyone. It's probably one of the most enjoyable periods you could ask for as a Palace fan.
I did come away that evening been absolutely gutted that we didn't make it 5. But probably not as gutted as the social media team, who would have just had a field day with the
Spamming Don Rogers.
It's going to be 5. Yeah. It is 5. Yeah, like that would have been great for them because they could have overlaid that commentary on top and it would have been brilliant. But
yeah, that was great fun, wasn't it?
Special.
Very nice.
Yeah. Was it more awkward with your wife, or what's the Man United midfielder called? Casemiro. Was he defending more awkward? Was it Munoz who just like took the ball off it? Yeah, no, brilliant evening. And as who was it who wrote it? Daniel was saying, the run at the end of last season, just take your pick. The Newcastle game was unreal. Yeah. And we were just incredible in that game. Villa were going into the Champions League and we slapped them all over the pitch. There was so many results in West Ham. Yeah, there was. I was away for the Fulham draw, and even then, when it was like, "Oh, it's going to come to an end in such a crappy way," then Jeffrey Schlupp pings the ball in the top corner from like 30 yards, and I'm stood next to a written-off car on a mountain in Malaga, or where was I? Menorca, or something like that.
The end of that season was so good that I went into every game thinking we were going to win.
Jesus.
And like one of the games near the end of the season was Wolves away when we won 3-1, and that was just fucking party time. Like the weather, it was really hot. Palace were at the pub at that rank like Holiday Inn or whatever the pub is in Wolves. Like everyone was fucking loving it before the game. The end of that season was so much fun. Yeah,
I just loved after every game just watching all the 3 points again on Lay videos.
It was so good.
It's just like, I can't believe we're running around going into every match knowing we're going to win and have the audacity to be singing a song of 3 points again on Lay with no sense of irony whatsoever. It's just like, no, legit, we're just going to smash whoever we play and it doesn't matter. There's nothing you can do about it. And a lot of that comes with, Pinhead said his low moment was realising that Parish wasn't dropping another Elise bomb in the summer and we'd have to live without him. And then someone else has said, just getting to watch Elise playing red and blue for the whole year, particularly the back end of that season, how good he was a real treat. So, I mean, that's certainly one of my low moments is Elise leaving. But yeah, watching him around that time, him and Eze and Mateta, just, goals galore, assists galore, beautiful link-up play, and just having teams just not having a single clue what to do with them was beautiful. What else you got on your list?
I've got, as bad as the 4-1 against Brighton was, obviously our recent trip down to Brighton was everything that wasn't.
Yeah. Also on Hesketh's list, I think
taking everything I've written down here, Albert.
Yeah, yeah. Who else have we got on there? No, most people. Nick's gone beating Brighton away was the best. Most people have gone with others, but yeah, winning at Brighton is always great, and it was a great day. Really was.
It was. And we were comfortably better than them. I know that Hendo made a few good saves, but really, I mean, if you go back and watch it, we're just better than them, and it's nice. It feels good.
And the Jefferson Lerma celebration was perfect.
And it could have been, we could have scored one or two more, Eddie Nketiah. And it was disappointing to concede the one. So, yeah, I think it was a great result.
But a lot of people were saying their best was Liverpool. Carl was said best was Val, the Jurgen Klopp Val, when we pinged together whatever number of passes it was for Eze to tap in what was probably our goal of the season. Was it our goal of the season as well? I think it won it, didn't it?
Yeah, let's just say it did.
It should have.
Van Dijk's reaction is also very good. If you watch that goal back, he's really not happy with all that. It's a bit of a sidebar. Obviously, Liverpool pissing the league at the moment, but aren't they far less fucking annoying without Jurgen Klopp in charge? Have you not noticed? I couldn't give a fuck if they win the league. Good on them, I say.
I love the perfect moment there as Hesketh re-put on his see-through glasses onto his face with the see-through frames as if he was trying to look like Jurgen Klopp.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Heavy metal podcasting.
If we could get Hesketh's glasses on Terence's face, I'd be bang on.
Mate, I've got
home game
glasses like that.
With my cap.
I've got glasses like that.
Oh my God. Oh, if you mix all three of us together, we're Jurgen Klopp. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Fuck. This is the worst moment of 2025.
Anyway, we're immediately ceasing despite making £12 an episode, we're immediately ceasing trading and winging it. We're going to rebrand as wowing it.
Oh, very good.
Very, very good. So Liverpool, obviously great, always great winning at Anfield. Was that on your list, Hesketh?
It wasn't. It wasn't, funnily enough. The only thing that's left on my list, I have put Glasner exclamation mark. That's obviously, we've talked about him. The January window last year, when we brought in Wharton and Munoz, I think is maybe not immediately under Roy, but looking back on our form at the end of the season, a lot of that was because of what those two players brought. Munoz in enabling us to play really effectively with attack and wing backs or attack and wing back. And Wharton, I mean, his range of passing is insane. And getting those in at the time, they both felt like, these are good signings. I think we realised just how good they were. Not that there's any pressure on us now, but I want the same this year.
You want the same January?
I want as good a January window. No pressure. But yeah, I think that window, those two players in particular, were it turns out massive signings. So I think that was a big plus of last year.
Maybe Wharton will be back soon as well. Lovely.
Playing football.
You got any more on your list, Albert?
I've got a sort of maybe a bit of a weird one. Losing the 4-2 against Man City was a highlight for me because despite being beaten 4-2, I thought we gave a really good account of ourselves against, that's a different City side to what we're currently experiencing. And we thought we could beat anybody in that sort of period. City were an exception to that, but we didn't. There was a few chances. There's a few chances in it where we could have got a point or nicked it, and we gave a really good account of ourselves. Obviously, we go 1-0 up. What fantastic pass from Wharton, and Mateta does what he does, or certainly used to do. It was a loss, but it was a real sort of. It was a game. It was nice to have City come and not really be scared. And like I say, we didn't get anything out of it, but I thought we represented ourselves really well for that game. So that's a sort of a slightly niche alternative one.
Yeah, if you want niche, Will Hughes getting booked in a mid-season friendly against Bodo Glimt has got to be up there as just.
Is that a highlight or a low light? Could you just clarify, please?
I'm going to say highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Captain's armband for him against Southampton as well.
I mean, Will Hughes, full stop, might be a highlight of 2024.
Yeah.
Shock that another ex-Watford players. No, go on. Sorry, Will Hughes. Go on. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously he's in the team a lot more this season than he was at the back end of last season. But I think every appearance, whether it be from the bench or again focusing on this season, he's started more games than he hasn't. I think he's been he's always been a problem. We're now talking a bit more wider about Will Hughes and his history. He's always been a very promising player in his early days at Derby, but to see him sort of really deserve his place in the team, he's not all right. He's there because of run of injuries, and if we still had the Doucouré of old and Wharton from last year, obviously Will Hughes wouldn't have as many appearances as he had, but he's really earned that shirt and the captain's armband in recent times, and I think fucking brilliant. And he's a real fan's favourite, and he's a contender for player of this season. And he came in that wave of players under Vieira. Probably not the most glamorous, but I think he's really, he's stood the test of time and become a really vital part of the squad and particularly the team in the last few months. So, I think 2024 has been a great year for Will Hughes.
And he might be able to send a message to Jordan Ayew if he picks up Player of the Year this season as well, after the abuse he got in that video that time. But
yeah, exactly.
Lovely. Okay, so we got Chelsea this weekend.
Oh yeah,
two losses on the bounce. Chelsea.
Is it 2?
Yeah,
I can't keep up.
They lost to Fulham and then they lost to Ipswich.
Oh, that's right.
Now, I mean, more and more our defeat to Fulham's not looking as bad as it felt on the day. And what was that? It was, Arsenal aside, that's our only defeat in a long time, basically, isn't it? But,
well, I mean, even losing to Forest to a goal that Hendo would save 99 times of 100, they're second or third, so even that's not that bad.
Yeah, no, exactly right. So, and it just shows, I think we're there or thereabouts. Basically, we're competing with anyone in the league, really. Fulham, we didn't compete with Fulham, but that was because all of our 4 centre midfielders are out. So it's a little bit different. Maybe if we've had a couple of actual midfielders in midfield, it might have worked out. But but Chelsea, is it so, Albert? Wrong or right time to catch Chelsea?
Probably the right time, I'd say. They've been steadily consistent, haven't they, for the most part of the season. They've definitely shaken that sort of chaotic. Who's starting? How many players are they? 16 players playing one week and another 16 players. They seem to have definitely nipped that in the bud to some degree, and they're they're a decent side with individual players that are fantastically talented. But look, would I rather face a Chelsea team that's won 8 on the bounce, or would I rather face a Chelsea team that's lost 2 on the bounce? We're very, very, very gradually improving. Play individuals that haven't been so great. We've talked about Chalobah, although I guess he can't play. We're improving in small margins, whether that be as a team or individual players. So, and we're at home. Why can't we beat them?
And now over to Hesketh for him to tell us why it's the worst time to be playing them.
Well, I'd take a draw. Well, I still think they're a pretty good team. As I say, as much as I've given Chalobah some shit, I do think he's been all right the last few games, and us having a sort of steady 3 has helped. But I guess at least Richards has had the game before this to sort of bed in properly, and having Gay back's obviously never going to be a bad thing. I think it'll be tough still. I'm assuming we'll just go with the same 11 as, other than that defensive change, as we did against Southampton. I think we can win, because I think we're, Arsenal aside, not getting humped by anyone. We're in games, and we're definitely still creating chances, which is good, which is very good, because when we're not creating chances, when I really worry. I can't see us winning just because our record against Chelsea is shit of late. So I'll take a draw. That's positive. That's a positive start to 2025. Isn't it?
Start, you mean, to go on. Yeah. Albert, so he's like, he don't know what to do. He's like, okay, all right. Well, we'll be back next week to talk about that game in and amongst other things as well. But yeah, 2025 is going to be Palace's year.
For finishing 12th. Oh.
For winning, the cup win's coming. This is it.
Yes.
Get through Chelsea. Don't get any injuries. Wipe Stockport off the face of the planet, and then
Sign a couple of players.
get some really good, favourable draws against lower league opposition.
Easy.
Yeah, easy.
Teaching Ketty how to trap a ball.
Well, easy.
Steady on.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Sorry. I've had 2 mediocre beers. Sorry.
How dare you? Right, but yeah, good to be back. Thanks to everyone for listening. We'll be back normal time next week, and until next time, up the Palace.